There are a lot of awesome tunes in this game and plenty of them that don't get enough shine. In this video, I'm going to give you the list of my top 10 underrated tunes of DC Legends. Let's get into it.
There is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
Hi guys, I'm Grodd here, and this is a DC Legends video. In this video, I'm going to give you my top 10 underrated tunes in the game, the ones that you should be putting some resources to. And I will say this, a lot of it is dependent on your style of play, how you like to play the game. So that might, or where you are in the game in general. So I'm going to give you some underrated tunes that don't get a lot of shine that I may not see a lot on my PvP boards. So I'm going to hop right into it. Actually, let me make one quick note just to be on the safe side. Now, hopping into it. First things first, here are the honorable mentions. Hawk Girl Stun on the A1, 75% chance. If you're early or mid-game, Stun is an incredible debuff for you to use because you may not be up to the level of strength. Also, running her with Killer Frost is a pretty good idea. You might not be the strongest in the game just yet. You might be punching way above your weight class, and you can do that with Hawk Girl because your enemies can't hurt you if they're stunned. And she does a lot of that. Next is King Shark. King Shark might be more of a personal underrated to me in terms of like I want to scream his name and say how great he is. His ability to ramp with empowered strength ups based on bleeds. I love running bleed teams, and so that means he just fits a style of play that I really, really love. Is he for everybody? No, but then those out of turn attacks after ramping up on empowered strength ups, he's awesome to me. Saint Walker, I've gotten into using Saint Walker a lot more. Giving Lanterns 25% increase in damage. He's literally taking your RB1 Arcus and making him RB, what, 3? Actually a little bit beyond RB3. It's kind of like that weird Super Saiyan thing in Dragon Ball Z where there was like the Super Saiyan 3 and then Super Saiyan 4 was actually where he had like a tail, you know what I mean, instead of having like the golden hair, which was always weird to me. That's kind of what they did with Arcus is because he's not going to be RB3, but he's not going to be RB4. He's kind of like RB 3.5 because it's 25% on Green Lanterns and 10% per rebirth. You guys know what I'm talking about. So anyway, Call Assist, Purging debuffs, Purging buffs as well, can't be enraged. I think he's an awesome, awesome tune. And then Flash does not get enough shine. Plus, I kind of wanted to put the Blue Lantern Flash next to the Saint Walker because, you know, I'm stunting. But yeah, so his out of turn attacks come fast and furious where he doesn't do a lot of damage on each attack, but once you add it all up together, he can just be a complete pest. So absolutely love those tunes. They deserve some more shine in the honorable mentions. There they are. Now coming in at number 10 is a tune that I started using a little bit more this month because she became available in the, oh nope, she's not a villain. She became available in red alerts to be farmed. That's Vixen. Vixen's kit is, I don't want to say annoying, but it's complex. She's like a Swiss Army knife, whereby if you have another option, you're going to use that option. Like no one says, I need to cut meat, so let me get a Swiss Army knife. What they say is like, I need to cut meat and I forgot to bring a real knife. I'll just do it with the Swiss Army knife. Like the Swiss Army knife is never the first choice for tweezers or scissors or a corkscrew. However, it's good to have there and it allows you to do a lot. That's Vixen. She allows you to do a lot. She allows you to work with evasion comps. She allows you to work with bleed comps. She allows you to work with stun comps. So if you are early or mid game and your roster isn't that deep, just because of her abilities, she can deepen your roster. So I think she's an incredible tune. Underrated. Once you get to end game, you're not going to use her as much unless you want to do it for fun. But in the early to mid game, when you don't have a deep roster, having Vixen. In fact, as I go to my free to play account, I'm going to try to farm Vixen a lot so I can use her in so many different ways, and it expands my roster with only one tune. Now going into number 9. Number 9, I think I put her on my top 10 list too. So you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do that. Because, you know, I'm thinking she's on my top 10 list, my top 10. I think others, you know what? Yeah, others underrate her. Starfire. They call her a one-trick pony. This might be a bit controversial because I put her on my top 10 list if I'm not mistaken, and then I have her on my top 10 underrated list. She's on the underrated list because I never see her in PvP. I feel like I'm the only one using her. She hits like a freaking truck. She gives stuns. She gives hit chance downs. She ramps when allies are hit. Like her A3 can't miss if she has 5 int ups or more. Run her under damn near anybody that gives special damage or intelligence ups, and she's a monster. She's a monster with Darkseid. She's a monster with Lex. Like, I think she's absolutely incredible. So I don't understand the lack of love for Starfire. I have her on my top 10 and my top 10 underrated. I'm allowed to do it. I think that's allowed. I'm allowed. I'm gonna say I'm allowed to. All right, so moving on. Number 8. I don't use him nearly as much as I should. Hence, underrated. But he's a lot of fun when I do use him. And that is Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze is a toon where he gives so many speed downs that he can literally lock a team with speed downs. He's a pretty good secondary taunter. You wouldn't count on him as your taunter, but to have him there as a backup taunter is great. He's tanky, hard to take down. And again, when he gets going in terms of all of those speed downs that he applies, it's obnoxious for the enemy team because your team is moving so slow. You might as well be giving us a bunch of turn meter up or giving you a bunch of turn meter down. You have so many speed downs on you that you can't move, and it freezes up the team. So Mr. Freeze coming in at number 8. Number 7 is on my list because more for me, I don't use him as much as I should. That is Grodd. The permanent speed ups that he gives, the ability to stun as well, his out of turn attack, where it was 90% chance to gain 3 permanent int ups on Grodd and 2 permanent int ups on a random ally whenever a hero dies. That makes, and it sounds weird, but that makes him also good to go with revive comps. And there is a toon for revive that's also on this list. So you're giving permanent int ups and you're getting permanent int ups on both sides if you have a revive comp running Grodd. And then there was another passive ability. Oh yeah, 65% chance, 70 when I have it fully ringed out. For all allies to gain 3 speed ups whenever an enemy is stunned. Run him with Hawk Girl, who I told you about from honorable mentions. Give death immunity to the team at the beginning of each ally's turn until the end of that ally's turn. Like, he's actually a legitimately awesome toon, great with support. So I really should be using him more. That is Grodd getting a little bit of love. Next, we have a toon that you might want to run with Grodd, and that is Cersei. Cersei is infuriating. Now, part of it is that she's squishy, right? So it's hard to keep her alive, but if you can run her with tanks, tanky taunters, if you run her with a Grodd, for example, is damn near perfect. Because her revive when it comes to her turn, and let me go to her passive ability real quick just to see. Necromancer, at the end of her turn, 85% chance, 100% when ringed out, to revive all dead teammates with 10% HP and a permanent unpurgeable enrage, 50% chance to apply damage immunity to the revived teammates. Now, I should go ahead and ring that out to 100% chance, and I will eventually. I'm saving my rings for the Naomi 0 to 70 because I want to ring out some of her abilities as well. So there's that. However, when she's running, especially if you like run her with a Spectre, and Spectre gets a chance to revive, his passive still proc when the enemy dies. So you're keeping your team in the game. Running her with a White Lantern Sinestro at lead is awesome because they both revive allies. Clayface, if you're in the mid game still, not Clayface, Swamp Thing. If you're in the mid game still, then she's awesome with that. So Cersei, and then Grodd, for example, or Larfleeze, who benefit when allies die. This is also like a very, very mid game, early game strategy because when you're in game PvP, you don't want anybody to die because you don't want to lose those stars. But I digress. When you're running with Grodd, with a Larfleeze, and teammates die, they benefit from teammates dying. So you keep going. Runner with a oh no, that's old school Deathstroke. Deathstroke now buffs when enemies die. It used to be that he buffed when allies died, but that's changed. So ignore the Deathstroke tip. Everybody else was good. All right, so that is Cersei coming in at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is one toon that Dr. Zabaro swears by. I need to use him more, and I'm going to say this a lot in this video. I need to use him more. I've said that like 30 times already. That's Brainiac. And one of the abilities that I think are just absolutely incredible, Vanguard, is it that one? Vanguard Defense, gain enrage immunity and 50% turn meter up to a teammate at the start of battle. Oh, nope, that's not what I was looking for. But that's a passive ability also, which is awesome because if you run him with, I don't know, Martian Manhunter or a Cheetah, now your entire team has a 35-40% turn meter up at the beginning, and that's a passive ability, not a leadership ability. So you damn near guarantee your team goes first. 25% chance to call assist each time Brainiac attacks. Not bad, but this ability I was looking for. Gain damage immunity give damage immunity to the team at the beginning of each ally's turn until the end of that ally's turn. You're saying, well, why does that matter if it's their turn? Why do you want damage immunity on them if they're doing the damage? This is to protect against retaliators. This is to protect against your Wonder Woman Codas, to protect against your Arcuses, to protect against your Azraels. For toons that jump on you when you attack or have an attack or do whatever, then this evasion comps. When you're going against an Arsenal, when you're going against a Harley Quinn, when you're going against an Eclipso, then when they retaliate, that damage immunity protects your allies. So, Brainiac, awesome toon, needs to be used more. Now, I'm going to go to an old school favorite of mine at number 4. I still think he's a beast, especially if you're dealing with a Brainiac or an Enchantress. Kaga, Castaway Green Arrow, on his A3, light damage, but apply 20% turn meter down to all allies, which used to be like before Black Flash came out, that used to be you know what I'm saying? Gain invisibility and 50% chance to gain 1 debuff immunity. And then also down here, all teammates have a 50% chance to purge 1 buff when damaging an enemy. Just because he's on your team, your entire team starts to be able to purge buffs. Also apply 10% turn meter down. Then on the quickness, 20% chance to use cover shot on a random enemy at the end of every teammate's turn. I swear to you that procs more than 20%. 50% chance to use cover shot twice. Promise you. And then all of his kit is just about purging buffs. So he's not that strong. He doesn't do that much damage, but you take him in to purge buffs. You take him in to purge your damage immunity, your int ups to turn meter down. Like, make your team able to do turn meter down. Don't put him against Aquaman. But to give your team the ability to do turn meter down, he's absolutely incredible. So, going on to number 3, Wonder Woman. Which Wonder Woman? There's one Wonder Woman. Well, I mean, there's 3 of them in the game, but the one I'm about to talk about, Wonder Woman Coda. Wonder Woman Coda has been a nightmare for me lately because I have seen her around a little bit, and when I see her, I don't account for her the way that I should. And when she retaliates with the AoE attack, she wipes. Absolutely. She's a great toon to run with retaliation comps if that's what you're going to try to build. And when she retaliates, she does crack skulls. She also has the call to arms that gives strength ups to all allies. And then let me go ahead and go down here. Passive ability, 75% chance to use call to arms on enemies that damage Wonder Woman. So she'll ramp up, and then a 50% chance to counterattack with Goddess of War. So she's gonna ramp and then wipe you out. Isn't that nice of her? And then the second passive ability, 56, oh, I need to ring that out. Chance to apply invisibility on a random ally at the end of her turn. That one I'm not so good on. That one not so much. There's another plane. Y'all hear these planes, right? Anyway, so riposte. I'm guessing that's a French word. I think that's part of fencing. I guess. I don't know. That ability right there alone, she's underrated. Now, moving on to number 3. Actually, yeah, moving on to number 2. Sorry. Wonder Woman Coda was number 3, and I made a last-second change but didn't scribble it. So, moving on to number 2. She's a villain. A lot of ladies being underrated. Enchantress. She grants damage immunity and overheal at the start of her turn. Like, in the start of battle. So your team just becomes that much harder to take out. Oh, and actually I should ring that out. How many rings do I have? I got to save these rings for Naomi, but I want to ring this out for her, and I will eventually. Team leader ability. Every time a teammate receives damage, 75% chance to apply a medium overheal on that teammate. Use Versa Vitality at the start of battle. Versa Vitality is where you have the overheal, 75% chance to apply damage immunity. Like her kit also bounces off each other well and works really well. 75% chance, I think it would be 85% if I ringed it out, to gain a light overheal whenever an ally is healed. Gain 15% turn meter. You can run her with Bane. You can run her with Black Lightning. You can run her with Stripe, as I always say whenever I mention her, because they benefit from being overhealed. Or you can just run her outright regularly at leadership position and give damage, immunity, and overheal to everyone just so that you start off a little bit ahead and protecting your team in case anyone needs to ramp up. So that is Enchantress. And then coming in at number 1. Now, she's at number 1 because of the level of how she's underrated, not because she's the best one on this list, if that makes sense. Like, nobody uses her, and she should be used because she's really, really good. But she's not Not the best one on this list, if that makes sense. Just the most underrated. We clear? Okay. All right. I know somebody's not going to like that. And that is Catwoman. Catwoman just on her hit and run. Damage to an enemy, gain 3 speed ups, and then apply stun legendary point and purge all buffs on target. Steal all positive immunities on target if Catwoman is invisible. So she could take out Superman. She could take out Spectre. She could take out anybody who ramps. She could take out Barda because she steals all their abilities and then she purges all their abilities and then keeps the positive ones for herself, like the true cat burglar that she is. So if you run her against, for example, Superman, and you steal all of his damage immunity and death immunity, and then purge the rest, he's open to be taken out by whoever the hell you want him to take out. Like, granted, there's like Spectre who can do that as well. But my point is that that's an incredible ability regardless. On the A1, steal all awareness and true sight from target on her A1. So let Spectre ramp up and grab all of his awareness. Go ahead, you got 30 awareness? Thank you, I'll take those. And now try to take me out. You know what I'm saying? Purge 5 buffs if target has a positive immunity. Like, so good. Her kit is so good. And then she's even hard to kill. Is this the one? Passive ability, Catwoman has a 38% chance to gain invisibility and heal herself whenever anyone on her team takes damage. Gain 1 evasion up and 1 speed. Like, Catwoman is a beast. For real, she's a beast. Now, are there others that do it better? Like Spectre, you can make an argument that Spectre does the whole purging all buffs better. However, he just purges while she steals. Like, she purges it all and then steals what's good for her. Like, come on. Catwoman coming in at number 1 for me. So actually, I'll be honest, when I made the list, I was a bit hesitant to put Catwoman there at the top, but the more I looked at her kit and go through it, I'm literally wondering to myself why I don't even think about Catwoman when I see a Barda, or when I see a Superman, or when I see whoever the hell else. Like, why don't I use her more? Against Arcus, she'll steal his death immunity. She'll steal all of his strength ups. She'll purge all of his strength ups, steal his debuff immunity, and then leave him open for whoever else. And if she's invisible, which maybe running her under a Clayface, running her under a Nightwing, if she's invisible, then they can't even retaliate against her. I'm gonna make a Catwoman video. I'm gonna use her for the next week and just make a Catwoman video. It might be that she's slightly squishy, but she does use her misdirection whenever a Catwoman reaches 0, 50% chance to use misdirection and gain 5 evasion ups. So I can even run her on my evasion comps. Like, and heal. Yeah, I'm about to do a video on Catwoman. Anyway, Catwoman top of the list for underrated tunes. I'm gonna do an in-depth guide on her. Thank you guys for watching. I drop these videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So please please subscribe. If you don't like it, hit subscribe, hit dislike. I'm okay with that as well. Check me out on IG where I answer your questions. That's where I'm doing my mailbags over there on IG. And then I'll do 1 question a day, like on the YouTube shorts here. Also check out the merch store. All the links are below. Check me out on Patreon where you can find the podcast. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.